Check, check, check. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, that's right. We are getting started a little early today. Better early than late. And you guys are like me being late yesterday. So we have quite a bit to cover. 4,300 got a hit. Can it hold? Can the ES work its way up to 4,360 today? Oh, that would be a glorious day. It would be a masterfully glorious day. Gold is dipping, crude's dipping, bonds are down. Yen is down. All the things we like to see. The bottom row's down, folks. So give us a few minutes, we'll get right into it, okay? Bump, bump, bump. Hey, hey, hey. I love that transition. I love that transition. It's pretty fire, to be honest with you. I have to go through and figure out how I did it. I'm gonna program the old stream deck to be able to do that. Start transitioning between microphones. Excuse me. All right. I mean, we have quite a bit of good news, right? Or pre-market action, as they say. We have lots of pre-market action cracking off today. All right. I do not need this right currently. All right. And one more thing, and we will get going. Tweeter deck. Oh, Killa, the first one here this morning. What's up, brother? Oh, you got him. He's been getting, he got beat yesterday. He got beat today. Oh, gotta keep an eye on those kind of things. So, with that being said, you know what I forgot to pull up? Yeah, I forgot to pull up this guy right here. We gotta get that up and running. And there's not a lot of news, so we're gonna get through it really quickly. Really quickly. Interesting earnings yesterday. Remember, we had talked about what are we going to do if DocuSign makes a move, right? Well, it did. It fell off the face of the earth. It is creating kind of a little tweezer for our bottom here, which means that overnight, right, we got that weird little heel, arch your foot, toe type thing that should flick price action back up a little bit, or look for at least a retrace to the 21, possibly for our bottom. So I'm looking at a move to about 85. Yeah, right around 85 before it decides it wants to take its next leg down. Other than that, I'm looking for a break above 78.90 for a move to 81, 83, and then 84.50. Right, that can be a quick opening play. If it doesn't make it pre-market, that would be the play. That would be a move up to right around the. Do I have labels on this? I swear I have. Do I not have a label showing? I guess I don't. Interesting. All right. I thought I had labels on these. Yeah, 80, 85. So massive support here. The mid, the top. I have to go through and look and see what color coding that means. Right. We'll get into that later. But yeah, DocuSign off of good earnings. You know, EPS at 48 cents versus 47. Revenues up, right? Sees forward-looking revenues at 2.4 to 2.48 versus 2.16 or 61. Is that what's causing this massive sell-off, or is just DocuSign not a valuable stock unless the beer bug is happening? We will check it out. Also, Oracle had earnings. Pretty interesting. There's a couple that had interesting earnings. Oracle has just been in this chop zone, right? You could do a 75.80, 75.70 iron condor and just sit back and collect money. right? Very neutral play on Oracle. And that's pretty much what we would stick with. That's it for technology, pretty much. No real healthcare news. There is financial news. BlackRock took a hit. Be okay. They are also IWM, right? This is interesting. Ripping yesterday, and a little dip into the close. So this is a pretty. See, did it? Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good Elliott wave, but it's not, because this close is lower than this high, so it can't be 1, 2. This can't be a 0, 1, 2, 3, because the 4 pullback can go low, but it just can't go lower than the high of the 1. Okay, this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking at this as a rally to the 21. Pull back 4 hour. Maybe we hit 4 hour top. 715. However, they said it has taken about a $17 billion loss from its Russian security holdings because of the attack on Ukraine. $17 billion loss is phenomenal. It's crazy. Rivian, dead cat bounce. The bouncy dead cat bounce. If it cannot get back into the 4 hours, cannot get back into the 4 hours that run 37.85 to 39.04. If it cannot get back in there and clear 39.04, pull back and move up to 43, then it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's got support at 36. Yeah, see the numbers show up then. So I'm looking for a hourly Keltner channel breakout, retest hourly mid, right? Back test hourly bottom. Excuse me. Back test. Another way to look at it would be 30 mid, 30 top, hourly mid, 30 top hold, hourly top, move. Okay, so we should see some movement today. Nothing in this is looking green except for this intraday, like this pre-market after hours little move up looks pretty good. So I think they're trying to buy this because $34 is pretty dang cheap. Now remember, it hit like 150, 150. I buy shares of this every week, right? I also buy shares of Lucid every week. I haven't really done Neo yet. I used to be all over the Neo chain until yes, we will look at Tesla Lottos. Until they've been around and they kind of led the secondary EV market for quite a while. But there wasn't really any plans to. I didn't see anything about getting those into the US, right? Whereas Rivian is in the US, Lucid is already in the US, right? And while Neo is a great product, like the market cap, I don't know. I feel like the US consumer market cap is probably a sector that they should really go after. I will be watching for an inverse head and shoulders on Rivian. So rally up to the 21, dip back down, rally back up, make a nice little inverse head and shoulders over the next couple of days. Someone needs to let us know. We need to keep an eye on this. This is a good little small cap play. Okay. EPS at $2.50 loss versus $1.97. Revenues at $54 million versus $60. Delivered 909 vehicles in the quarter. They believe supply chain will fundamentally limit output through 2022, and that they will have sufficient parts and materials to produce 25,000 vehicles in 2022. They see their adjusted EBITDA at $4.75 billion loss versus an estimated 3.72, and expects to recognize negative gross margins throughout the year. As of March 8th, we have produced 1,410 vehicles in 2022 and they have around 83,000 pre-orders for its R1 in the US and Canada. People are buying it up. It's crazy. Yum C, y'all remember this guy? Not Young MC, but Young C. Yum C. Yum China Holding, right? Been warned it may have to delist from the New York Stock Exchange after U.S. authorities said it failed to provide access to audit documentations. This is a $45, $50 stock that's about to be delisted. Oh, the shorts are gonna hit this sucker hard today. They're gonna smash it. Okay, they are gonna smash this. Watch for fundamentals. Right? It's it's fundamentally negative, but trying to do a little V shape. So keep an eye on it. They got a warning, doesn't mean that they got delisted. There's a difference. Okay. Zoomies, Tilly's, Ulta's a fun one to trade. Ulta Beauty, Q4 EPS at $5.41. Banger. Versus 458, revenues 2.73 billion versus 2.16. Same source sales 21.4%. Approved a 2 billion share repurchase program and sees forward-looking EPS at 18.20 to 18.70 cents per share versus 17.84, and sales at 9 to 9.15 billion. That's good earnings on a stock that's already moving. All right, so let's look what we got here. Gonna get some slingshot squeeze releasing, right? Good earnings data out of the 4-hour top. Maybe a little bit of profit taking down to about 382, right? I would say 382. If that holds, let's look for a move up to 395, 400. Ulta looks really good. Speaking of Ulta, I know somebody likes trading it. Here we go. So, earnings. And set up for okay. All right, in world news, UK reported GDP growth of 0.8% in January versus December, the fastest monthly rise since June, and well ahead expected the 2% or 0.2% growth, right? Ukraine's top 2 leading neon suppliers, Ingas and Cryon, halted operations amid continued Russian attacks on the country. These 2 companies account for about half of the world's neon supply. Wow. How do we get into neon? Because that's a big deal right there. All right. Earnings before the bell. Nothing that we would trade. Event calendar for today. Baker Hughes weekly rig count at 1 p.m. Eastern. Also, I saw some information that Biden is supposed to be talking at 10:15 today. Okay. Biden out at 10:15 today. It's crazy. Okay. Sorry, I just had to read something there. All right, futures are snapbacks, and tattoos this morning after a muted overnight move as Putin said that there were certain positive shifts in talks with Ukraine to send markets spiking within the past half hour. The U.S. Senate also passed a $1.5 trillion spending bill to fund the government through September and prevent a shutdown. Now let's see. April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 6 months. They're like, let's spend. Okay. inflation fears, the economy's in the toilet, but let's spend 1.5 trillion to assure politicians that they have a job for another 6 months. I remember a couple years ago that the government almost shut down, but they didn't start like funneling money until like a month or two before, not 6. So I think that there's some senators that are sitting high on the hog right now. Seriously, you heard it here first, folks. The spending includes some $13 billion in aid to Ukraine, but does not include supplemental COVID relief funds. I mean, what were the unemployment numbers yesterday? Sorry, let me just check this out real quick. So we had higher than expected unemployment claims, right? But yet we don't have anything to help people that are unemployed because of the disease or the sickness. Whatever. I'm so frustrated with anyway. In Asian markets, markets are mixed with the Nikkei index slipping over 2%. The Bay index has been slipping all over the place the last couple of days. And the Hang Seng losing more than 1.6%. Shanghai is up 0.4%, and Europe markets are getting a recent pop as well off of those Putin comments. The DAX is up 3.5%, and the FTSE 100 up nearly 2% or 131 points. Okay. Insurance stocks like Hippo. Maybe. All right. We have got the futures are looking right. I'm thinking 15-minute classic gap fill to Ripper. All right, I'm going to run through these real quick. I need to take a break here in a second, but I want to get through the futures portion real quick so that we can see what's up, what is up, and what's where. All right. We did it. We bounced. Oh, I can't wait to show you this. All right. So only fear about this is it a rip to the 21 for an additional sell-off? So we've got room to 43.50, right? So we're moving up. We're going to test that 21. I think we get a 21-day or 21 EMA retest today, bringing it down to the 4-hour on the ES, right? It's a nice little pattern. I said, do we bounce right off that green little box? I mean, I go watch the replay from yesterday. I drew this on screen. I said, look, do we bounce here? Boom, and rip. Yes, we did. So good news. Above the 21, above the 50 on the 4-hour. This is good. We're going to retest the 200-day. I think this is a 200-day retest, which is also a 21. So I know it said that, I'm going to say 43.50, right? My 1414, my favorite level, 43.60. Do we get there today? If so, let's just say we close at 43.60 today, or even 43.75. I know I've got a SPX. I think that would be too much to get there. I'll have to look at the SPX when we get to that section. But yeah, we finally got a green candle from our 10x bars, right? So we're bullish. I would look for support at 42.85, right? Somewhere in this level right here. On the 4-hour, let's bring it down to the 30-minute, right? We just melted down, bounced right off that level. I was like, do we hit this level? And bink. Like I said, we can't be 100, we can't be so granular because we're not computer programs. We can't be so granular that we ignore the 382. We came down and hit 4207. I didn't know him. 4207. My fib was at 4205. We hit it, we ripped up out of it, back tested it, up and back and good. Okay, 30-minute bear or bull flag forming. Okay, between my previous high and 618 from a longer term. That's normal, right? Normal to create a flag in here. If we do pull back, let's look at pulling back to 50% of this one candle, right? I'm looking at 42.94. 42.94 for support. I would bring it, I'd be willing to bring it down to about 42.91, 42.90, right? A little pullback and then rip your faces off into the close. Contrarian. Let's say we fail this 42.91 level, right? 42.78 and we come back down. Let's just target 42.68. Okay. Stack positive moving averages on the 30, looking bullish. That was the old ES. All right. The troublesome Nasdaq, right? We have not tested the 21, so a 21-day test on the Nasdaq would put us at that 1414 extension at that 14,113. Okay. We're currently testing previous highs. Looks like we got a little bit of a breakout there to the upside. This is a positive candle, like we're trying to move up through this trading zone. Okay. 21-day retest on the daily, looking at the 4-hour, right? Pull back to that 382. Okay, I know a lot of people use the 50 and the 618, right? It's a little easier, a little cleaner, but if you're looking for a theoretical way that Fibonacci retracements are done, right? The 382 is the determining factor whether it is trend continuation or trend reversal. Okay, we broke above the 50 pre-market, which is good. So we're down, right? We bounced right off of it. Kind of had a problem with the 21-day towards, right? 21-day up through it, looking at the 30-minute, right? Stack positive moving averages finally got some good crossovers, right? Remember I said we've got a falling 200 and then this 21 super choppy, but now it's stack positive. How do we play that? I mean, it's momentum, right? We got a skyline right at my 100%. So I would say we go long above, like there should be a bull flag breakout coming here soon. I would target my 14113 level, taking profit on the way up, realizing that there's going to be resistance on the way up. Okay. The key is to clear this skyline move. Okay. I like it. If we pull back, we could pull back to pretty much $13,700. There's just so much happening in this zone right here. Just so much. 13,736 possibly. Yeah, right in there. Or a 50% retracement from this candle move. Okay. All right. Looking at the dilly dally daily Dow. Right. Again, Fireline target through 33,630. 21-day retest on the daily puts us at our 1414 extension, which is up here in this trading zone that I have to keep moving around a little bit, right? 33,834 is that level. That would be take profit, exit, possibly sell the rip. I would see 33,621 incoming today. Again, this move, measured move back to the 382, additional move back up, right? We're going to get a 2150 crossover. That's going to be an additional momentum into this trading zone up here, right? This 1414, 200-day target, right? We're going to test this contrarian. If we start rejecting some of these previous levels, maybe the 33,603 level, and then pulling back to, we got to hold that 50-day. We'd like the 21 to curl up and cross over, and for continuation on, looking at it from the 30-minute chart, right? Nice big moves up. We pulled back. We held this 382 up and back again. Finally got some stack positive moving averages and exploded up, right? This fire line is my target, 33,625. If we do get a pullback, then we just simply run a fib from this move, right? That's one option. Or we do a fib from just this candle. If we did the candle, then we could come back to 33,300 before our next move up, okay? Y'all see I'm starting to layer, slowly layering in some fib levels, okay? That's just what makes sense, because it looks like the programs are honoring those. And then there's been so many speculatory comments on what the Russell is doing. The most interesting one was the wick-off cycle, which seems to make sense. I'll try to find the post on it, but I believe that that's what this pattern is going to be, and it's just keeping it super simple, right? We would look for the 1414, which would be the 50-day test, 2053 to 2055. I should possibly expand out this zone here, knowing that it makes sense, right? And yes, it's a tree line to snow line zone. I could probably just remove it and get away with it, which I think I may do after all. I think I may do that after all. This is getting to be a little cluttered. But the congruency of 21, 8, 10, 12, 13, right? That congruency, that's the target. There's so many incongruency. I mean, there's a massive amount of Fibonacci levels that are all congruing. I think congruent is the correct use of that vernacular at that level. We've also got another one at 2160, right? 2160, 2161, and then up to 2349. So we dipped, we ripped, we crossed over the 21 yesterday. We closed above it. Excuse me. No, we didn't. We hammered, but we gapped up over it. If we can hold, right, I would look for the 50-day retest, right? This is probably the closest to the 50-day we've been in quite in a couple of months, to be honest with you, okay? The only concern is that the money is rotating into small caps. It's rotating out of someplace, which means maybe tech might take a hit, right? We have to find what's going to be hit for that money to be rotated into. Spaghetti nightmare, right? But nice pullback. I drew in a little box right there that we bounced right off of. We're going to get a 2150, 200 crossover. If we can get this 50-day to cross this 200, it's going to be even more bullish. 1414 extension, I like, possibly retest previous highs. So tree line to skyline, possible move. Okay, let's bringing this down to the 30-minute. Already beginning to retrace, which was perfectly normal, perfectly fine. If we did a fib for the candle, right, we had a 50. We may get a pullback to the 384 and then a move back up. Just additional congruency here. Like I just put some more clustering here. 2053, 2055, 2058, possibly. That might be the extent. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it looks good, right? This is a good looking move. but there's only a certain amount of money, right? they can't run everything. All right. That was the red-headed Russell making nice moves for the last couple of days. Definitely helping the market out a bit. Okay. So where's money flowing out of? Is it flowing out of gold? Right. Well, we did a 50% retrace. We could possibly dip down to the 382, 1955, right? I think so. That's not valid. That's not valid. This might be valid though. Yeah, I think that's valid. So I think that's a better trend line. And here we go. So yeah, there we go. I'd have to adjust my trend line, but I think that that's what it's going to hit. So currently below the 21, holding the 50-day, barely, right? 50-day, we can wick down here to do the 382, which would be a complete retracement, and then we get a bounce up, or we just continue to pull back. So if we break down below the 382, then this trend is over, right? This trend is over, and now we're doing a downtrend until we can clear back above some 382s. Hopefully that's starting to make sense to y'all, and everybody can see it, start seeing this a little bit more clearly, right? I'm seeing a Head and Shoulders necklines 1978, right? Yeah, neckline is 73 to 78 ish, iska. Maybe. Yeah, this is pretty bearish. 2150, 200 negatively stacked. Downward pressure for a 382 retracement. Below that, we've got some free, there's some free space down here that could easily be conducive for a pullback, right? I'm looking for a bounce for a continuation. We could very easily chop 1955 to 2000, right? We could chop in there, right? And that's on gold, okay? Moving on up to crude. Everybody was like, what's crude going to do? Well, it's taking a breather. It is taking a breather. Looks like we got one pullback. We're going to get an additional retest of this from this low to this high. 382 pullback, kind of like we did. Remember how we showed it on the ES and the NQ and the YM, how we pulled back? Well, this has got a 618, which is retracement. No, I just did a retracement extension. Whoopsie. And this is typically a reversal doji. This is a doji, indecision potential reversal. Rip up, but now we're falling back down. So we may get a double bottom if, for some reason, 103.89, we get a close below that. Then next step is, right, to fill this gap down here. And unfortunately, there is one. Just notice that. So there is a gap right here. Use this for my gap. Yep, that would be the gap fill. So crude back down to 92.50, right? If 103 breaks, 103, next stop 93. If it holds, 108, 114, and continuation. Okay. Finally, Bonds, did it fill the gap? I think it gap filled. All right, so it back tested a gap fill. It did give up a key level. So I'm looking at this snowline target 153.07, 153.08. So that gap's been filled. There's another gap down here. Again, maybe we're getting a little bit of a reprieve for that gap fill, right? Yeah, so Crude, or this is TLT, right? I think TLT's got another $1 or $2 drop in it. And finally, the old yen, right? Yesterday was a good day for the yen, right? More of an indecision. They had really good numbers come out for PPI or PMI. But overall, this is interesting. I'm using Heiken Ashi candles for this one because if I didn't, it would be super erratic, right? Just like the cleanliness of it. It did create a new zone here, right? 8624 below that, wee, right? 8624 moved to wee 85, 8. Let's just call it 86. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Huh. All right. I'm going to take a real quick break because I got to do something. Okay. And let me do this. Let me leave it up like this. We're going to be done early, so if we need to spend... All right. We did get a 2150 cross down, so we're below the 50 on the 2 minutes, so there may be a down cycle to retest key level of support. All right, if we give up the 200 on the 2 minute, that's not good. Okay, so I will be back un momento, and let me know, get me some requests going. All I see right now is, so Killer, you were the first one here. The first person that shows up gets their tickers read first, and then I go in order from that. So far, I'm waiting for Killer to post something. If he doesn't, then Johnny, looks like you're going to get your Starbucks and PayPal. Top gainers for today. Yeah, give me a few minutes. We're going to go through those, okay? Like I said, I just got to take a real quick break. 1 second. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to leave this up for y'all to see. Check. All right. All right, that wasn't too painful, was it? All right, there we go. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna run through the bread and butter list, which is Apple, AMD, Google, NVIDIA, Tesla, SPY, QQQ, and the SPX, which the only reason I'm really focused on the SPX is my target level, right? I know it would be a miracle today to hit 4505, right? Nice, ooh, nasty candle on the Q right there. Nasty candle on SPY. All right, so gap filled, right? They came through and they wicked down, and that's an 8 minute. Let's go to 3. All right, so they wicked down and took out all those stops that people had put in place, right? So there's no stops all the way down to the close yesterday. Just took them all out. These are all gone, right? It's holding the 50 on the 3. See if it holds the 50 on the 8. I'm gonna go with the let's go with the 5 minute candles, right? Looks like it's trying to hold that 50 on the 5, but it did took out all those stops. Now, I keep meaning to do this, but I always forget. I always forget to go back and back test what happens when we get these big wick stop killing candles. If we have an up day or a down day off of it, like, are they killing the stop so they can push it further down, right? So I need to really check into that. Can y'all hear me also? I just need to make sure my sound's on. Just making sure. Ooh, Netflix looks good. All right. So, all right, let's get back to all of these, shall we? All right, Apple 5 minute, definitely range bound, right? It's a range bound cookie. All right, sweet. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. Well, so they took out stops here and they pushed it down, right? They took out stops here and they pushed it up. So maybe I did just do a little back testing. Took out stops here and pushed it up. Took out stops here and pushed it up. Took out stops here and pushed it up. So theoretically, again, theoretically, if they take out the stops, they go the opposite direction. They took out the stops. If they go the opposite direction here, right? I've got I can't even, it's so long ago, this 382 retest, right? Hit it, rejected. Hit it, rejected. Third attempt should maybe a breakthrough. Apple 165. Apple's ATR is, I don't think Apple's ATR will support that. Hold on. Apple 550 ATR. All right, Apple's ATR 550, 160, 165. Ooh, that'd be a great day for Apple. All right, contrarian 160, 155. Right, that's if it downtrends, right? We retest lows, but according to basically what we see back here, I'm going to look at Apple. Let's look at the Apple 16250s. Max pain for today on those would be that's swaggy socks, sorry. $162.50. They're going to pin it. All right, Apple 162.50s. Okay. I'm going to share this everywhere just because I think it's important. All right, next up on our list, let's just run through these really quickly. AMD. See what they did here. The same thesis works, right? Took out all the stops, pushed it higher. Wicked pushed it higher. I don't have Wicks, pushed it higher. Wicked pushed it lower. Wicked pushed it higher. So let's see. I have a Snowline 111, 112 possibly. AMD's about a 450 ATR, I believe. $878, my bad. AMD with $8 ripper, so 108, 116. I don't know. That's a reach. 111, 108, 100. That makes sense. 111, 116. I'm liking 114 AMD. AMD 114s. If that's the case, I'm gonna be so mad because I had 5 of the 110s at 70 cents that I took a beating on yesterday, right? I took a beating on it yesterday. $109 max pain there. 127s, 120s, 105, 110. They're saying max pain is 108, right? Max pain. 109. So that makes sense. So they pin AMD at 109. They have to pay. That's the best level for them to not pay out the most contracts, right? Because there's massive 110 calls and probably a bunch of 105, 106 calls. All right. The problem with AMD is QQQ moves real similar to AMD. So let's keep that in mind. Moving on. Google app 2700. Lordy. Google 2740, 2800s. Google L ATR of 102, right? So let's just say it's ATR of 102. It could hit 2800 or it could go down to 2600, right? Gap, crap, gap and rip, gap and crap, gap and rip. Google 2735s, 2800s. Google's max pain is, I only look at max pain on expiration days. So I should look at it the day before, but I just don't. 2650. So they push it down. So it closed at max pain yesterday, right? So what's the next one? $26.50. Next up would be $27.05. $26.75. That's pretty close. Look at the 27.05s. So 27.05 Google Lottos, right? That's if and only if, right, we don't take out yesterday's high on a pullback, right? Or 27.35. Google 2735 Lottos, and that's if we can maintain yesterday's high of 2668. Okay. All right. Next up on our list, we have NVIDIA. Vidi. Let's see what they did here. All right. Wicked up, chopped it. Wick down, pushed it. All right. Wick down, pushed it up. Wick down, pushed it up. Wick down, pushing it up. I also had the NVIDIA 230s. I should have swung those at 232. All right, NVIDIA tree line at 235, snow line 246. There's some skylines in between. I like the 235s on NVIDIA. That's if it maintains this snow line at 229. So 229 pullback, 235. NVIDIA's got, I think, NVIDIA's got a pretty decent ATR. $17. Let's say it holds 230, 245. That's a maybe. NVIDIA above 235. We hit 240, 240, 250, and 246. What's max pain for NVIDIA? $225. Ooh. So they're saying if they pin it at 225, they pin it here. I don't know though. So NVIDIA above 235, we hit 240. So puts 225. 235, 240, puts at 225. 235 max pain or 225? 225. Okay. All right, next up on the list. All right. Tesseract. Oh, that looks 860. Looks so juicy. 843 holds on Tesla. We see 860. 900. Oof. Tesla 900 Lottos for sure. That's all right. So Tesla. Let's see what max pain on Tesla is. $840. Whew. How am I doing on time? Doing pretty decent here. All right, so they wicked it, they pushed it. They wicked it, they pushed it. Or they wicked it up, pushed it down, and then they pushed it back up. Wicked it down, pushed it up. So snowline to snowline move is 860. They're saying max pain for Tesla is 840. So do we get the gap fill? So do we get a gap fill in the morning and then a rip up? I know Tesla's got like $100 ATR. $61. So $60 on Tesla. So 840 to 900. Hey there, that could do it, right? So they push it down to fill the gap to 833, right? And then that $60 ATR, right? It's a $50 ATR, so those 850s. So Tesla 850 a Lotto if 835 holds, right? If 835 holds. Okay, I'm super good with that. Let me just get some updated numbers here. Contrarian, if 835 breaks, right, then 805. So Tesla 840 max pain. I want to look at an 850 Lotto, right? That's if we get a pullback to this 835 area, right? So they push it down to fill this gap, and then they push it back up. They rip it to throughout the day to I'm going to say 860 Lotto. That's on a big pullback, right? Okay. All right. Oh, that's a big move on Tesla. All right, next up on our list is the SPY. All right, let's see what they do with the SPY. All right, wick down, push it up and back down, right? Up and down wick down, up and down, up and down. So it looks like down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. So up and then up. Yeah, SPY's a little different. It's interesting. See on this one, they wicked down, they wicked up. So kind of the same thing that happened here today. They pushed it down. Right, up and down. This one they pushed it up. Down, they pushed it up. Down, they pushed it up. Wiki, wiki, down. All right. All right, on SPY. If they flush it to 423, 434 Lotto. Okay. If they bring it down to 428, 439 Lotto. Let's just see what they got here. $11 ATR, right? So it's at 429, 439. I don't know. So SPY above 434, we see 440. SPY below 427, 424, 420, right? 420, 430, 440. I don't know why the upside looks further away than the downside, which is interesting. So do they push it, do they push it down at the open and then rip it off of there? Possibly. Is this a channel? You know, could be. I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't know about this. I'm going to keep it there. So 440, what's SPY's max pain? I know they like to, I'll go into AMD. Yeah, they like to pin like Microsoft, Netflix. There's a couple of ones that they really like to pin. 429. $429 would be here, just kind of the middle of nowhere. Would be here. So push it down, 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 build it up, 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 and then push it down again. Where's our closing line? Right. So they're saying 429. Hold on, I want to look at this. All right, so do they rip it and then dump it, or do they dump it and then rip it to close at 429? Interesting. So this snow line's gonna be a magnet 434. I'm gonna lotto the 434s to the upside and then the 423s to the down. Okay. All right, and then we got QQQ coming in hot. Look at this sucker. So they wick it down, they push it up, they wick it up, they push it down. Hey, hey now, they wick it down and up, they chop it, push it up. Wick down, push up. Wick down, push up. Wick up, push down. Wick up, push down. Wick down, push up. Makes sense. 1414 is 339. I got Skyline at 342. So I would say QQQ above 337. We hit 342. What's QQQ's ATR? QQQ $12.50 ATR. So 1250 from 37 is 349. That's way up here. That'd be a big, big move, right? What's the max pain for QQQ? I don't know how often they've actually been able to pin QQQ max pain. So, oh, added to historical max pain. That's crazy. Stock price max pain strike. So they pinned it Feb 24th. They were close. They pinned it the 28th, the 1st. They pinned it the 16th, the 15th. They just pinned it yesterday. Yeah, right. I need to look into this a little bit different. That's new. I like it. Max pain 337. So they're saying 337. Right, they're saying this 127 extension here. Is there a max pain? This trend line looks pretty valid. Looks to be pretty valid. So it looks like they're respecting this trend line pretty good, right? Not 100%, but pretty dang good. So they push it down and they wick it down, push it up, right? So QQQ's, is it 12? 1250 ATR. They push it down. So below 327. Sorry, I just need to make sure that I'm not looking at something that could not possibly happen, right? So morning flush to 334, below that 330, and then an afternoon push. Okay, so they could do this. They could rally it at the open to 342 and then dump it into the close back down to 337, right? Since they wick down, they push up, wick up, push down, wick down, push up. So I'm looking at something like this, except for they push it down at the end of the day. I don't know how often QQQs hit that. This is just kind of a cluster, but it barely made a higher high. Still hasn't taken out the highs from the other day. There's a trading zone. So QQQ above 338, we see 342, right? Above 348, we see 342, right? Looks like there's a zone down as well. So below 333.50, 330. So based on trend line, right, they wicked this down, they ripped it up, and then they pulled it back. They up, and they push it down, and then they rip it up, and then pull it back. So I think we get maybe some pulling back here, right? A little pullback to support 332, bounce, 337 Lotto. I think that makes sense, right? So the line in the sand is look for 332.50, bounce to 337. Okay. Wick down, push it up, wick down, push it up. Interesting. QQQ 333.50. Maybe bounce off of there. It's just interesting that lots of chop in this area. 331.50. I'd have to look at my zones. Wow, that's interesting. Remember, okay, so max pain is 337. Lotto for that would be above 348 or 338. Sorry, above 330. No, yeah, okay, yeah. So above 338, right? We see That's not right. $333 bounce to 337. Okay, so here's the play. If we crack, if we take out there, right? I think that makes sense. I'm looking for a push down and then a rip to 337. Contrarian, we rip up and pull back, right? And then we move up to 339. Got a skyline target here. Got a skyline resistance. So above 336, we move to 342. We reject this, right? They push it down and then they bring it back up to max pain out at the end of the day. So it's either going to be an early morning rally and potential fade, or it's going to be a dip rally. Yeah. AMD QQQs, I just haven't, I mean, I've been trading it, but it's just not, I don't know, it's not my favorite thing in the world. Apple, it's way easier to read, right? Apple pulled back to 382, right? It's looking to make a move. Apple above 160. I think we hit 162.50, right? Contrarian, if we take out, if they push it down, 160, 158.70, they push it down to, if they push it down to this area here, this 159.22, then I think we see a move 157.50. So that was below 150. I didn't say 152. That's not right. 57. 158. Interesting. Wick down, pushed up. See how they wicked it down, they pushed it down in the morning, and then they ripped it up. Wicked it up, right? Immediately pushed, sold it off. Wicked it down, right? Big gap up, pull back up. All right. Let's get into it. So I got about 15 minutes. All right. Speculation. Alrighty, let's get into it. So what you see in front of you is a smart money dark pool and block trade algorithms software called the Flow Index. It's provided by FlowTrade. The Flow Index is this purple line. It tracks large institutions, hedge funds, smart money transactions, right? It tracks the big boys. It's created its own algorithm called the Flow Index. The Flow Index is a predictive leading indicator, meaning that it is going to show what is happening in the future. It's like a crystal ball. It shows you what's going on. It's tracking smart money. Okay. It's cost Flow Index or FlowTrade hundreds of thousands of dollars and multiple thousands of man hours to create this Flow Index. We look for opportunities where price action and the Flow Index have diverged, because what will happen is the price will retrace to that point of divergence, right? Price follows the Flow Index. It's not the other way around. For example, here we had divergence to the downside. At this level here is where that divergence occurred. What happened with price was price decided it wanted to go in the opposite direction, right? Well, once the liquidity had been eaten up, basically, it reverted back to the point of divergence. Here, that divergence plays out. Okay, so that's what we look for, is we look for opportunities where there's divergence. For example, we had, let's see, we had divergence here. You might think it's back here, but it's not. We have to look at what price is doing, what the price level is doing in correlation with the flow index. Right, so divergence occurred about approximately at that point, right? Price action came down, right? If you see, price action came down, right? And then it reverted to the area of divergence. Now, price is currently trading with the flow index, right? And it's trying to make a little bit of a longer standing little wedge, right? Breakout. So that's Freeport McMoran. It's not the best example to show, but I just wanted to show it anyway. Okay. All right. Killer came through with, I didn't see any remarks from him. So Johnny, sorry. We're gonna look at Tesla. Andrea beat you, Johnny. Or nope, Johnny. Wait, sorry. You guys got me confused. Starbucks. So Johnny came through first with Starbucks, and Andrea with Tesla, Johnny with PayPal. I'm not sure what Hippo is. Is it? I don't see Hippo anywhere. If it's a penny stock, it doesn't make our list, right? All right, Starbucks for the win. All right. All right, so real quick, the way that my charts are set up here, this purple line is the flow index, green bars are price action. Blue lines across your screen are dark pool block trades, right? Red lines are regular block trades, and white lines are fun. Good time. It should be had on weekends. I'm just kidding. Basically, what you have is you've got a dark pool and a regular block trade that printed on top of each other. Major areas of inflection, mark them up on your chart. See what happens when price interacts with them. Okay. 86.52 Starbucks white line level. We have a dark pool at 87.60 and another one at 84 even. So 84, that $84 even one came in on the 8th, which is here, right? Came in at the close right here. Well, that was definitely a buy order. So they shot it up, pulled it back. That white line level held because as price came down, right? Support, failed support, back through resistance, failed resistance, gap through it, back to support, up through it, support, 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 right? The flow index is trading with price right now. Okay, there's not any specific divergence that I see, unfortunately. I do not like this shape because it is bearish, as you can see here, right? We sold off. I'd be looking for the flow index to make a reversal at this level here, right? Maybe pull price up with it. 87, I would target 88 to the upside, possibly 86.50 for support. So dip down, back up to 87.60 and possibly 88. Above 88, it immediately has a wall overhead at 88.79, right? Where like this move here happened off of it. It failed through it and it hasn't been able to get back to it. A little bit of trendline support, right? It looks like it's trying to build a little bit of steam up. It definitely has a pretty decent wedge to get through, right? So maybe one more quick flush down and then it breaks out of the wedge one way or the other, right? That was Starbucks. Tesseract. So we had Tesla white line level at 853 and 839, right? So above 839, 853, 860, right? However, the flow index is trading with price, right? As it starts making higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? We hit some massive resistance at 860 and sold off. Now we're starting to return. So if the flow index can get out of its own way, right? The flow index can start breaking out of its own way here. Just the flow index has a trading zone that runs like this. I'll see. So if it can get back up into it, it can pull price action up with it, right? If it rejects it, then it can very easily fall down, right? This Tesla trend line is not super confirmed because it's only the second tap at it. And there is this guy right here to contend with. Okay. So do we rip up to 853, 860 and then pull back? Or do we reject here, back test this trend line for another move up? If the flow index can get back into here and make higher highs and higher lows, I think possibly that's what we can get, right? I think that makes sense. From a fit perspective with Tesla, there's a couple that we have to look at. We got to look at this one, right? We also have to look at this one. I also have to look at this one. Except for I think. And 824 seems to be pretty significant support. 824 to 849. Above that, yeah. I know it's really hard to see, but this is pretty significant support. Above 840, we see 860. All right, let's test up. Okay, next up on our list was PayPal. Ooh, PayPal's got some bullish divergence, y'all. Yay, hey, hey. There it is. All right, price is coming down. The flow index is moving up. We got bullish divergence. All right. Main basics wedge play, right? We have 100 regular and dark pool levels above. 98.13, 98.90, possible consolidation zone, and rip up. Flow index is making higher highs. It did kind of break out of its own little overhead resistance there. And again, see, the flow index is going to zone right here as well. That it wants to break back into, right? Little bullish zone right there. Three, two, safety, 232. All right, so if PayPal can get above 150 cent, $100.50, I think it gets a pretty easy move to 102 and 105. If it rejects $100.40. We come back down 97.28. Below that, I think we come and make a new low. PayPal looks pretty decent though. I like this nice long bullish divergence. One candle. Okay. Next up on the list is sitting right at 849 now. Okay. Tesla is sitting at 849 now. I mean, if you wanted to play it safe, you'd wait for Tesla to go 862 to 900, right? Super interesting though. Okay. PayPal. AMD. What is this? AMD's put me through changes lately. All right. AMD 102.79 is support. Two, pull back. I mean, they're still selling AMD, which is right. The flow index is still pointed down. Right, see how it's trading with price. Price comes down, the flow index comes down. Right, up. We've got divergence here. Divergence there. All right, so all right, AMD. I need the flow index to bounce really, or to even just be flat. Like this is, there's a word for it. It's not consolidation, but it's like consolidation. So if we can get it, we can get a day or so of consolidation, we might get a little bit of a pop up. Yeah, it's pretty nasty though. $103. So they're saying 109 is max pain, which is right here in this regular block, this big cluster of regular blocks. Interesting. 618. So we rallied up the 618. It failed, all the way down to the 2.3. Came back up through the 3.8, 50%. Look for a move to 107, and then back. I don't know. I'm staring at AMD too long. I like AMD to 111. We do have divergence, bearish divergence at 103. All right, next up on the list was Apple. All right, so Apple's got Apple could do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 max pain on Apple. 162.50. That's not bad. I like Apple. It's a 162.50 today. All right. All right, so let's see. We dropped down. We rejected the 2-3 the first time. We pulled back to dark bull support. Right. On 62.50 looks pretty decent. We need a flow index to bounce though. But if we had been looking at this all week with this divergence down, saying, yeah, it's going to diverge down. Can't believe that divergence got played out. It's crazy. All right. So down and down and then up. So Apple above. Now we've already went through Apple, right? I don't like how the flow index is pointed down, but it looks like most of that divergence is already played out, right? This is a beautiful move setting up here, though. I think I'll play Apple today. All right, really quickly, wheat and then Ford. Right, flow index is selling. Wheat below 10. It's not super accurate with penny stocks. Okay, consolidation, pullback, consolidation, pull down. All these gaps have to be filled. Like there's a billion gaps. So below 1001, move to 969, fill that gap. Then down to the next trading zone at 916, and then 879. But the flow index is definitely trading with price on this one. Okay. Ford, little bit of bearish divergence that just started. So all this other divergence is played out, except for this little bit, and that could just be Ford pulling back to support, right? All right, from this high to this low, Ford ripped up to the 618. It could pull back, right? The flow index is made a low. It failed to make a higher high, higher high, but it made a higher low. So Ford pulled back to 1614, or excuse me, 1614, possibly. And then extended move out to 1672. Ford has to break this gnarly trend line that it's got for itself, though. If we see a move down, that would set up a longer term head and shoulder, but I think we see another move up first. Forward. All right, I gotta run. Thanks for joining me. Dark Bull Algo. See y'all on Saturday, day. Tesla's sitting right at 849 now. Another wick, right? Remember I said we could look for a retracement from this move here. It's pretty scary how accurate this is. Apple. Set below 159.60. We move down to 158 is what I have. So kind of sketchy. Oh, I need to crack my neck. I gotta go. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a safe day. Stay safe, stay green. If you have any requests, hit me up in